welcome back to Good Evening KU. As we have seen, the weather is finally getting warmer outside. I'm super excited about that. It wasn't really ideal walking around in the rain all week last week, so I'm super excited that we're finally getting some warm weather. I kind of thought it was winter last week. How are you feeling about that?
Awesome, because I was freezing cold in the rain last week, and it may be September, but now it looks like it's going to be a longer summer here.
For sure. I'm super happy that we're back into the 70s and the 80s. KU football is back. We're super excited about that. Did you watch the game?
I did watch the game with a couple of friends this past weekend. Unfortunately, we didn't come up with a win, but we are super excited to see what this team has to offer throughout the season. How about you? Where did you watch the game?
I also watched the game with a group of friends. We're super pumped that it's back. It was a tough start, but we're ready for a good comeback. On top of that, students were not allowed to the game. We're hoping at some point that we can be able to go to the games again. We did notice that on the news there were some house parties. We saw some FSU, some KU house parties on national news. They were not following COVID regulations. So did you happen to see that as well?
I did this morning on the news as well. Not only was that party not following COVID regulations, COVID is increasing in the Lawrence area up to a 10% positivity rate as the weeks go on here.
Yeah, Greek houses are just starting to come off quarantine, off of being on a 2-week quarantine. You didn't live in a Greek house,
No, I'm currently a freshman this year in the Greek life system. I know a few houses and sororities and frats are coming off of that COVID quarantine, hoping to continue to be on campus. Have you or any other of your friends have been affected by COVID-19?
Yes, I actually did get unlucky, and right after our recruitment week, I got hit. I had COVID the first day of classes. I couldn't wake up. I slept for like a good 4 days, and I knew I got tested. I knew I had it. I couldn't taste anything, which I'll tell you, that is the worst. Not being able to taste like your chicken sandwich, not ideal at all. I slept forever. Luckily, my professors worked with me, and I was able to actually get my work extended, and that was like super nice, but it was not ideal at all. I am planning on going home this weekend to see my family. Obviously, now that I knew I had it, I can't spread it, but I do know that a bunch of students are worried about going home because of the spread on campus. Where are you from?
I am from Chicago, so where I'm from, COVID cases are also increasing as well, and that's one of my fears as a student here at KU. If I do get COVID, I'm hoping not to be sent home because I don't want to give it to my family, and I think most students here at KU have that fear also, and that's why they're hoping that KU stays open.
Yes, I definitely think when coming back to campus, everybody was worried that we're going to get sent home. At this point, it seems like staying here is most ideal so that we're not spreading it all over the U.S. with everybody that's out of state. I personally, I felt comfortable, but at the same time, I'm from Wichita, Kansas. I've heard that Kansas is just currently on the rise everywhere. My mother didn't even feel comfortable with my brother coming home to Wichita, Kansas, because Kansas is just a really big hotspot right now. Hopefully, we're hoping that that'll go down soon. It seems that now that we're going into quarantines, that we've had Greek life go into quarantine, and the dorms are also being really safe with masks constantly being worn, hoping that that will help us. What dorm are you living in?
I'm in Ellsworth this year, and I can speak for myself, and I know everyone else living there, that COVID regulations are being followed thoroughly and very well. There's signs everywhere about washing your hands, wearing a mask. You can't leave your room without a mask. I know you said you're part of a sorority. Does your houses follow any regulations too?
Yeah, we've had significant changes. Only a certain amount of live-outs are allowed in the house at certain times. Everybody has to wear a mask everywhere. We have hand sanitizer everywhere. It's been super helpful because I know that everything is staying clean. Personally, I'm really curious, since I live off campus, what is it like in the dining halls?
Good question. So the dining halls, it's only to go. You cannot there's hours where you can't sit down in the dining hall because they keep 2 hours to themselves to clean it very thoroughly. Also, you don't get a regular plate. It's in to-go boxes, so it's easier if you just want to go back to your room and eat, or you could sit down if you really wanted to for a short amount of time.
So if you're sitting down in the dining hall, is there a regulation of how many people can be there at once, since you're not wearing a mask when you're eating?
Yes, you can only have about 4 people at a table, and the tables are very spread out, so when you're not wearing a mask, you're still 6 feet apart and social distancing, so it makes it feel really safe.
So I know I lived on Daisy Hill when I was a freshman. Do you feel, I know that it's always really crowded because the amount of dorms that are there. Did you feel comfortable, like just being on Daisy Hill in general?
Yes, of course. Everyone is following COVID regulations thoroughly as well.
All right, so we're gonna take a short break and I'll be right back with Steve for our interview. Hi, welcome back. I'm here with Steve Rottinghaus. I'm super excited to be interviewing you today. We're going to be talking about the career fair in October and the Zoom meeting that we have talking about that, going along with that on Wednesday. Steve, what do you have to say about our upcoming Zoom on Wednesday?
Yeah, I mean, we're 4 weeks into the semester, so I wanted students to get a chance to get settled before I had a career and outreach event. So yeah, this Wednesday at 1 o'clock, I'm inviting all students, regardless of what grade they're in, to check out the Zoom session. We're going to focus on, what you can be doing to network with alums right now, how to look for jobs, how to look for internships, what resources are available. Because I just don't want students to, put their search on hold right now. Because I know it is a crazy time, but there are definitely things students can be doing, and that's going to be the point of having our Zoom session at 1 o'clock on Wednesday this week.
Absolutely. So for me, that's important to me. I'm a sophomore, so it does feel weird being lost right now because I still want to get involved. I still want to find ways that I can find upcoming internships and figure out companies that I would like to work for in the future, but it does feel weird being lost. So if you would feel comfortable, what were some examples that you could just give right now that you would think about that would help?
Well, just where to look. Be familiar with our J School website, journalism.ku.edu. There's a career center portion of that. I'm constantly updating that with jobs and internships. HireJayhawks.com, that's overseen by the University Career Center based out of Summerfield Hall. They have thousands of jobs and internships that they post throughout the year. And then some of the ones you might have heard of, Indeed.com and also LinkedIn. Those are two great sources where you can kind of, pick a region, pick the type of work you want to do, and learn more about what jobs are out there.
Awesome. So also, if we're talking about the career fair that's coming up in October, I'm super curious, also just being a sophomore student and majoring in StratCom, tell me about the career options that you think we'll have in this upcoming career fair.
Yeah, this is my 6th year as outreach and career coordinator, and I've done 9 career fairs, and this is the first virtual one. So this is going to be new for me. But the university's had a few virtual career fairs already, like for the business school and a volunteer career fair. So I'm super excited. It'll be the last week of October. Right now, I think it's going to be October 26th. I originally had 28th and 29th, but I found out those dates aren't available. So October 26th, we're going to focus on getting, StratCom companies, news and information. We typically have 30 organizations, a good mix of, TV stations, radio, newspapers, ad agencies, communications firms, nonprofits. So as a sophomore, I still think it's worth your time, even if you're not, ready to find out first full-time job. I mean, just to make those connections can go a long way for the future.
Absolutely. I'm super excited about that because I do definitely want to make connections beforehand. I think that that's really helpful figuring out. It could change what you want to do in the future. There's really no way of knowing. I think it's super helpful. I am curious, are all of these organizations that come to the career fair, are they local or are there some that have out-of-state options as well?
We have a good mix. I mean, as you might expect, most of them are from Kansas City, but we've had them from Wichita, Topeka. We've had alum, represent their companies from Dallas, Chicago, New York. So I'm really thinking in this virtual format. I've sent out some feelers already, and I want to reach out, to companies nationwide because there's really no reason, since it's a virtual format, that they can't, devote, 4 or 5 hours meeting our students. So be on the lookout for that. But I'm really hoping we can generate some interest from companies from across the United States.
Absolutely. I'm super excited to learn more about that. So also, if you have freshmen coming in, what would your advice be to them coming in, being lost and maybe not knowing what they want to do or career-wise, also just like as a freshman getting connections?
Yeah, I mean, in a career fair setting, do some research. I mean, we'll have like links to the website where these companies are from. I mean, find out what these companies are about, what their mission statement is, what their staffing needs are. I think that'll be a big help. I mean, even for underclassmen, you can always start that process early so you can hit the ground running, say your junior and senior year when you really do need that internship, need that job. So yeah, underclassmen, I mean, definitely just go on the website, check out what the company's about, and that'll go a long way for helping you in the future.
Awesome. So, as I said, as a sophomore, I'm really curious about looking into internships. I'm a StratCom major, and I'm looking into advertising for clothing brands in the future. Is there any internships that you think would be interesting that the J School could offer me?
For a clothing internship, I mean, right now, nothing's immediately coming to mind.
Yeah.
I mean, most internships, have that for StratCom. I always think of, do you want to be creative or do you want to be more on the logistics side? And then at Career Fair, we usually have those companies that are willing to talk about both those tracks. Because as you all know, you probably figured out with StratCom, you can go so many different directions. And a big part of that is, being creative, logistics, account management. So yeah, we hope to help you out at the Career Fair.
Awesome. I'm super excited about that. I loved hearing about all of this. Is there anything else that you heavily want to stress about the Zoom meeting or the Career Fair?
Yeah, again, the point of this Zoom meeting this week, there's more information if you go to the Monday memo that I think just got sent out to all students. I sent out an email last week, and I'll send out a reminder. But the big point of this event on Wednesday is just where to look for jobs, internships, how to make some connections with the KU network, because that KU network is very impressive. You want to take advantage of that. And then just kind of some of the social media platforms that you can follow, too, to learn more about jobs. So that's going to be the main focus on Wednesday. And then later on, the closer we get to the Career Fair, I'm going to have another Zoom session on how to prepare for the Career Fair. So we can go into more detail about how to present yourself in a virtual setting.
Yeah, I'm actually really curious now that you mentioned that. With like Zoom everything with classes recently, what would be just a subtle tip that you would give everyone to be like the best way to present yourself on camera?
I mean, for that Career Fair, I mean, treat it like it's an actual interview. I mean, you want to dress the part. I know you can fall in that trap where, you're just kicking back in a recliner or maybe not even getting out of bed some days. But yeah, I mean, treat it like it's an actual interview. You'll have that one-on-one time. Be aware of your background. You don't want any noise, interruptions. So that's the main tip now. And like I said, we'll definitely go into more detail the closer we get to the Career Fair.
Awesome. I loved learning about all of this, and thank you so much for being here and telling us about this, and I can't wait to join the Zoom call and the Career Fair in October. Thank you.
Great. We hope to see you Wednesday, and thanks a lot.
Where you go to college makes a statement about you. This place will become a part of you, your identity for life. The University of Kansas, a great place to be you.
Welcome back. I'm Connor, and this is your Monday Good Evening KU News Update. As summer turns to fall, Dr. Anthony Fauci is warning Americans that getting through the winter is not going to be easy. The director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases says that between COVID-19 and the normal flu season, we can expect continued surges and spikes until a vaccine becomes available, hopefully by the end of the year or early in 2021. A recent spike of COVID-19 cases is the cause for a 3-week lockdown in Israel. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu called for a second nationwide lockdown to begin on Friday, which is the start of Rosh Hashanah. Israelis will have to stay within 500 meters of their homes. Wild forest fires continue to ravage the West Coast, forcing residents to stay inside and shut all windows. According to the National Interagency Fire Center, more than 4 million acres have burned in Washington, Oregon, and California, with smoke visible from satellite images. The tech company Oracle has become the new frontrunner to purchase TikTok. The Trump administration has been pressuring the Chinese-based ByteDance to sell the American version of the popular app. Microsoft has expressed interest in a takeover, but its offer was rejected. The KU football team kicked off the season on Saturday night with a disappointing 38-23 loss to Coastal Carolina. The Chanticleers scored 4 touchdowns in the first half and led 28-3 at the break. KU played much better in the second half, but the rally fell short in a game that ended after midnight. And finally, the National Football League is back. Week 1 concludes tonight with 2 Monday Night Football games after a full slate of weekend games. As defending Super Bowl champions, Kansas City hosted the season opener on Thursday, and the Chiefs knocked off the Houston Texans 34-20. And that'll do it for today's news update and our first show of the semester. Be sure to watch Take a Side at 9 a.m. tomorrow, and the show will be here every Monday at 4 p.m. Thanks for watching, and have a great night.